Hey, what's up, y'all? It is another week, which means we've got more new comic books. I will say that my LCS had a delay in the shipment, so this is going to be part one of this week's new comic book haul. We've got more stuff coming in on Saturday, tomorrow, so I'll do another video. All of the DC, all the indie stuff was due to normal holiday shipping logistics, and then also just the things that are going on right now behind the scenes in the industry as a whole just means that delays of shipments have become a little bit more regular than they used to. So anyways, let's get into what I got. Let's start off with the next book in the Horizon experiment over at Image Comics, Motherfucking Monsters. This book is a ton of fun. It is described as the Evil Dead for Black nerds. I absolutely love this book. It is funny, witty, engaging. It's got everything you want. It has like notes of like things like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and just Evil Dead, obviously. But yeah, I just really enjoyed this series. The art is so fun. It is reminiscent of like me growing up watching Dexter's Lab or Samurai Jack on Cartoon Network. It's got just a really cool art style. It's so much fun. The way that don't want to go into too many details, but the cult in this book goes about bringing out these monsters was fantastic. They set up a lot of good stuff here, and I am really hoping that this gets picked up for series because I want more of it. I think some of the Horizon experiments I've liked a lot, like The Sacred Damned. I didn't like Moondogs as much as Motherfucking Monsters and The Sacred Damned, but I would still love to see these series get continued. So if you haven't, go buy this book. Please check it out. It is so much fun. I loved it. And the only way we're going to get more of it is if people buy it. So yeah, Motherfucking Monsters was a banger. Definitely grab this. All right, now for the new releases. This week, they just had the Marvel stuff in until tomorrow. So we've got only Marvel. So my pulls from this week aren't too big from Marvel. We're starting out with X-Men. This is part 3 on the Raid of Graymalkin. I've been following Uncanny X-Men a lot. I really like that book, so I've been reading X-Men as a crossover that they're doing right now. It's kind of like mini crossover with the Raid on Graymalkin. This is part 3. Parts 1 and 2 were they were fine. It just felt like they were doing a lot of work so that you didn't have to read both of them if you didn't want to. So it was a lot of the same stuff. This issue just really picks up and goes, which I really loved. I found everything they did in this issue really interesting. This is really the first book of the four book crossover that I was really drawn to. I think everything that they did in this was absolutely interesting, really fantastic, and you can really tell it's setting up what's going to happen in the pages of X-Men and also Uncanny X-Men moving forward. And yeah, I just am really excited. I think the end of this book was a banger. They really set up the tension between Rogue and Scott coming to a head in this book was really interesting. And I think what they did with Scott here, I'm going to start following just the regular X-Men series now. I've been slowly reading it as it's being released on Unlimited, but I think I'm going to start grabbing it because I just love Scott in this issue. Much stronger Raid on Graymalkin part than the first two, I think. Continuing with the X-Men world, we've got Mystique in this limited series. I've been really enjoying the first 2 issues of this. I thought were really good. This issue felt really short and not a lot happening. It felt like this was mostly to tie into what happened in the Sentinels book. I'm not going to spoil that, but I feel like the Sentinels book and this book are like companion books to one another. We didn't really get a whole lot more revealed in this, so it was fine. It was cool there was a lot of cool action in it, and we get a little bit closer to finding out what's going on, but this definitely felt like a big filler issue, and so far not my favorite. The other two issues were much stronger, but again, interested in seeing where it goes. I'm really fascinated and love like a good spy story, and so I think they're doing that overall pretty well. This issue just wasn't my favorite. West Coast Avengers #2. This was super fun. I've enjoyed the first issue. I thought it was fun, funny, engaging. The concepts were really, really great. If you're not familiar, Tony and Rhodey have set up the West Coast Avengers to act as like a supervillain parole. So they are bringing in heroes and also rehabilitated supervillains to work on the team. The biggest being Ultron, who is a member of the team. And in this issue, we get a lot more backstory kind of on how they're doing this. We get Steve Rogers back as the Flag Smasher. So this was really fun. We really get to kind of see the dynamic of the team a little bit better as well. Again, this was a fun issue. I think what it's setting up for kind of like maybe their first big threat or is more interesting than what's happened so far. I think this is doing some really good legwork, but yeah, I'm definitely going to keep reading it. I've enjoyed it a lot. We finally get Firestar on the team in this issue. So yeah, we'll see what happens, and we'll see what this new Ultron presence brings in issue 3. So I'm excited to see where this goes. And lastly, for this week, we have Marvel Time Slide, kind of just giving us a taste of what's coming out in the Marvel Universe for the next year. We get some sneak peeks. The story itself is actually pretty fun. I had a good time, a nice little one-shot. I love Cable and I love Bishop, so seeing them together and their dynamic is always enjoyable. And then we get, just some flashes of things that may or may not happen in the Marvel Universe coming up next year. One of the things that they really set up a little bit is Cable's series. I believe that starts in January. So yeah, this was a fun read. I really enjoy one-shots, kind of just getting us to live in that world for a complete story. This was a fun story. You get to go through different timelines in mutant history, past, and then also, who knows, maybe a possible future that we might be seeing later. So yeah, this was really fun. If you didn't grab this, it's a fun read, and some of the stuff we already know that's coming, One World Under Doom, some of those other things that they talk about in here may or may not happen, but it was a good read and it was fun. All right, that's all for this week's part 1. I'll get the new books tomorrow, and then we'll throw up another video talking about what I got from DC and Image and the other indies once we get those in. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're reading, and yeah, like and subscribe.